is it for licensed nurseries who are selling plants to provide a little slip of information on, hey, this is the first whatever trailing Blackberry patented variety, be aware of the rules?
Yeah, that's not something we normally do, but most propagators, nurseries know that and have a tag that goes with their plants when they sell them. But it's not something that I'm against doing. We can do it.
I work in a commercial nursery. We grow a lot of patent plants. The tags, the invoices, everything, you know, if a plant is PPAF, that means it's plant patent applied for, or if it has a signed patent. It's understood in the industry, but it's also reiterated on tags and invoices that plant propagation is prohibited without a license.
Yeah, and I think in the nursery industry, these are the rules. They've dealt with them for a long time, and I think on the blueberries, we dealt with private and plant patents a lot more. And caneberries and strawberries, it's something that we're still getting up to speed on.
I guess one of the other things, even though it's more important to get Mark's question, is just, I mean, for those of you who've grown Meeker or Marion or any older varieties, none of those had this kind of thing going on. But I don't know of a variety that's coming out. You know, if you're at University of Arkansas, they've been patenting and protecting varieties since 1974. You know, if you're strawberries, they've been doing it since the 70s. And so this is not, we've been buying any other crops and buying any newer variety. We're the last holdouts on this. And I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I am just saying that it's, you know, it'd be nice if we could keep doing things without needing that support and just keep doing it the way it's been done before. It's not most of you guys are probably very familiar with this kind of thing going on in a lot of the crops you work with. Mark, sorry.
Yeah, that's right where I was at. So Chad, you're joining another group because you've been independent and all your material's been basically free. If you come up with a legacy Blackberry plant, it's not going to be free anymore. You are USDA, you're not OSU.
I don't think that makes a difference, USDA, OSU.
Barry works for who?
OSU.
Chad works for who?
USDA.
You're not an apple
Right.
and an apple, you're an orange and you're an apple.
Well, I mean, for those, you know, Tom Peerbold's been along with this whole ride, as well as some of the others from the whole processes we've gone through over the years. But if we were just to protect as USDA and have the USDA handle it, then the reality is any royalties collected would reward the inventor well, and well, you know, about a little higher than actually the universities give in a lot of cases. But the rest would go to the federal budget. It wouldn't come back to my breed. Now they've changed that, but they're changing that, and there's some indication that may be a thing in the past. The reality is one of the big reasons we partner with OSU is because the license given to OSU for certain varieties for a certain period of time, because that then allows money from the royalties to come back to support our research program. OSU takes a cut, USDA takes a cut, and pretty much the rest goes as it would be divided up for any other variety of university.
Okay, today we have a strawberry issue down in California with the Strawberry Commission and UC Davis. Can you elaborate anything here how that's close to what? Because there's commission funds coming out of.
Got it. Good point. I think I know what you're talking about. So what's happened down in Davis is the California Strawberry Commission has supported the University of California Davis breeding program for 60, 80, whatever, since its inception. And it's been a huge moneymaker for the university, and it's been good for the growers, and it's one of the most outstanding breeding programs in the world. But University of California Davis decided they're not going to do applied research anymore. And you got a breeder who's tired of working for the University of California, so he wants to go off on his own. Take all the germplasm with him. And the court system is, what's in the courts is the University of California Strawberry Commission saying, wait a second, we got some ownership in all that germplasm. You can't just take it and go somewhere else. And so that's going to be decided by the courts. But what the risk is of coming out of this is assuming that program goes away at UC Davis, then somebody's going to have, where are public varieties going to come from in the future? Because there's no guarantee that what that breeder from formerly from UC Davis, whatever company or place he goes, that he'll make it widely available to all California growers. I can say that I don't know what the USDA will do, the law and all, but their tendency has been the U.S. government is always protecting their buck. They do not ever want anybody complaining, you know, a grower or whatever, in a big way. And so they have always been really strongly against any, for a commercial fruit variety, any exclusive type of arrangement. So I cannot imagine, excuse me, no, let me finish that, within U.S. So I cannot imagine in any of our lifetime, even Julie, the youngest, Laura, even Laura's lifetime, that the USDA is going to allow an exclusive for, it's only divided into fruit. We have some, we may get some exclusive for some nursery kind of things, you know, pink flowering strawberry may end up going out as an exclusive, but it would not be a fruit variety. So I just can't see it ever happen. I don't know if that's what you're worried, you're concerned. If I got all this money invested, how do you?
Well, the commission's throwing money in, and now then there's royalties. I mean, there's no, that's fine. I mean, I'm just kind of poking a little bit to see here what's going on.
Yeah.
The other thing in my mind is the Blackberry, University of Florida stuff, where that one company grabbed all the licensed stuff for out of country.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what the USDA is going to do out of the country, but it's very frustrating they're not really doing anything, which, on some hand, I don't really want Columbia Star in, whatever, pick your country that you don't want it in right now. But I would love to take our primary fruit and vintage and put it in Europe, because it can make money over there for a fresh market that would never impact our markets, and it can get money coming back here. And so you have protection, you can do some of those kinds of things. One of the things that Bernadine mentioned that, you know, it's either right, wrong, or whatever, but it is the unfortunate thing that's happened in the last 20 years is you've got commissions or blueberry or growers associations that have given money to these organizations, and so now how do you figure in the fact that you've got ownership in some way, shape, or form of this material, but you know, there's other money that's coming in now, and you're probably still expected to get money, just hopefully not as much. If the varieties do well, that's the tricky thing. That's what you hope for. That's the other thing you hope for in the nursery trade, is I always joke, the more we can get into the nursery trade, homeowners kill so many plants, if we can get something that's hot in the nursery trade, that would really support a lot of breeding and commercial fruit side of things. Did I sort of get what you're worried about, or speak out loud about some of the things you want to bring up, Mark?
No, it's, you know, there's this monetary issue everybody's now. It's been free from you. It's not going to be free.
You know, one issue I'd like you on the table too, we talked about it a little bit last time, is enforcement. I mean, I know it's going to come up. And every grower group has got different segments, and we should be very clear that if we break some of these rules, there's going to be there's a stick along with it. And I don't know, just
Let me address that.
lay it out straight.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm not, you got
We have a stick, we have a war chest.
Yeah.
And that's an auditor. And so we do audit, and we do send a rotating audit person around. And so don't be surprised if you get a week's notice, and we'll have an audit of your books, for a propagator or a nursery. We need more help.
we need one single auditor.
That's our stick with the auditor. There are penalties for that. There's another question?
You know, one of the motives behind getting this all going that we've been working on is because we want to keep our public breeding programs competitive and in place. And supporting, this is one of the few ways we can do it, is get some kind of revenue stream going into them so they can better compete with, otherwise we're gonna get all of our stuff from proprietary programs. And if you think this is expensive, that's a lot more expensive. At least with this, we've got a cooperative program that I think is the foundation of our industry.
Can you remind the growers how much it costs to raise infield?
It's Wakefield.
Wakefield, yes.
I'd have to look it up. I wouldn't remember.
I think it's $1,500 a year.
$1,500 a year for growing Wakefield red radish.
Yeah. $750 the first year, $1,500 after that.
Yeah.
Every year they can.
And then you also,
$1
not a problem, you're buying the plants for them too, so. So, I mean, it's certainly, public programs are good to have around. They're not gonna, you have, back to, raising market concern, you do have, if you made a call and said they're screwing you over, and more than, an industry call, they don't like to hear. The USDA doesn't like, the hierarchy doesn't like to hear that kind of stuff. Jim had a question back there. I think it was Jim.
No, I was just gonna make a comment, and Tom just touched on it, you folks have been touching on it. It just boils down to the fact that public money is getting harder and harder to come by. It doesn't make any difference what industry it is. And if there's a grower interest in this thing, more and more money trickles down, it's got to come from the grower. And that's where it is. If we want to keep this public-private system going, and it's going to have to come from the people that are using it. Because public money, I've been back in Washington DC on a lot of different projects, and it's there. And we're going to get cut. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, and then I do think that's very true. That's the big driver. But there is also, by patenting and having a system in place like this, it gives you more protection of your variety, our variety, all of ours, growing together. I mean, there's the case a few years ago where University of USDA, I think it was USDA plum variety, or UC Davis plum variety, was licensed for the U.S., somehow ended up in Chile. And they started shipping a plum that wasn't supposed to be outside the U.S. back as fruit to the U.S. And it was something they could go after because they were able to go and say, this plum's coming from Chile, it's our plum, we can genetically fingerprint it and prove that it's our plum and it's not supposed to be there. And at first, maybe the university system isn't as strong as it could be, but as soon as they started going to Safeway and saying you're receiving illegal goods, it's amazing how Safeway very quickly either dropped that variety or decided they could work out an agreement that made everybody happy. And so it provides you the playground to do those kinds of things. You hopefully never have to, but it is it's one of the really nice things about blackberries over raspberries. Blackberries have that center core, and that thing can be fingerprinted. And if you fingerprint it after it's been frozen, maybe not puree, that might be a little more challenging. They might be able to do it. Juice would probably be tough, but puree they could probably do. But that was one of the things we found a few years ago when Nahal did the fingerprinting on Marion. Is she was doing bulk samples, and lo and behold, they weren't coming out to be Marion. So she ended up doing individual fruit. She was able to prove from a reliable packer, it was a really top-notch packer, that people were sliding cantata in there or something else. And you can fingerprint to show those kind of things.
Another big issue was the apples. French down in Washington State a few years ago. So that got litigated, and all the growers that were growing illegal, unlicensed, illegal apples got taken care of. It wasn't pretty. The only one that won out on that was the attorney, who's now in Florida living in Fort Lauderdale.
Barry, you mentioned blueberries as being rejected or shipped back. I hadn't heard about that. Was there a blueberry incident?
Yes, it's probably 10 years ago, University of Florida. They had blueberries coming back from Chile, turned around. University of Florida blueberries.
Any other questions? Let's take a 20-minute break. Give these guys a hand.